We begin our analysis with Janet's reaction to the newspaper headlines about Kadir and Lale's wedding. Notice how she immediately goes on a harsh offensive, ignoring her son's pathetic excuses. Judging by this uncompromising scene, she will stop taking his word for it in the next episode. It is logical to expect that Janet will launch her own aggressive investigation inside the mansion, which will quickly uncover the entire web of lies surrounding this fictitious marriage. When Jeanette yells at Kadir, demanding respect for Miriam's status as the legal wife, we see the first serious breach in his confidence. Judging by his bewildered face, the conflict will likely spill far beyond the kitchen. The mother, having realized her son's weakness, will take the situation under her strict control. Most likely, this decision will be the main trigger for an open war between Jeanette and Lale. Jeanette is not just indignant, she poses a blunt question about the respect of their neighbors. After these words about disgrace in front of people, we can expect her to start acting publicly. The most likely step here is that she will personally go to Lale to force her to explain herself, which will inevitably provoke a huge scandal and force Kadir to finally choose a side. Kadir's secret phone call with Salim is the starting point of his doubts. Kadir already subconsciously understands that the information leak came from Lale's PR team, although he still tries to defend her out loud. By the way, if you like our detailed breakdowns, don't forget to like and subscribe to the channel. Returning to the scene, after this call, the mask of the understanding bride will fall off, and Kadir will begin to treat Lale with clear suspicion. Here, Nahir openly admires Lale's beauty, belittling Miriam's status right in front of the family. This small but telling detail hints that the internal tension between Nahir and her mother will soon reach a critical point. Most likely, in the next episode, her loose tongue and admiration for someone else's beautiful life will play a cruel joke on her, and Jeanette will take radical measures to discipline her. The scene where Jeanette categorically states that she will only believe Lale's own words proves that the mother will not take a single step back. The most logical next move from this observation is that Jeanette will do everything to physically cut Kadir off from his mistress. Her spontaneous trip is only the first reconnaissance in force, which will probably be followed by much harsher ultimatums addressed to the whole family. Zara panics and informs Kadir about their mother's trip to Lale. Kadir's reaction makes it clear that he is completely losing control of the situation. Against the backdrop of such a scene, we can expect that his attempts to be everywhere and smooth everything out will only anger both women even more. His attempt to catch up with them will most likely result in a public humiliation in the next episode. The scene in the car, where Jeanette strictly warns Miriam to tell the truth, shows that silence no longer saves the situation. Miriam continues to evade a direct answer, protecting someone else's secret. It is precisely because of this omission that a sharp escalation is likely in the next episode. Jeanette will realize that her daughter-in-law was intimidated, and will start pressuring not her, but Lale directly, trying to break her game. Lale's conversation with her father about the newspaper headlines reveals her true motives. She enjoys the status of a bride in the press, although she tries to hide it behind jokes. This detail hints that Lale is no longer going to wait in the shadows. It is logical to expect that she will increase the pressure on Kadir, demanding official recognition, which will provoke a huge rift in their secret union. When Lale snidely remarks that her father is used to ordering articles about himself, we see her readiness to walk over people. After such an exchange of remarks, we can expect her to continue using the press as leverage. Probably, in the next episode, another media manipulation will be revealed, which will completely destroy Kadir's trust in her so-called sincerity. Akesh shifts the conversation to Engin's marriage, and the latter's reaction is quite unexpected. He doesn't resist. This short dialogue looks like preparation for a new plotline. Most likely, Engin's storyline will come to the forefront next, and his potential marriage will become another tool in the struggle for influence within the club or family. Kadir's panicked call asking Lale to play along in front of his mother demonstrates his complete powerlessness. Lale is clearly irritated by his cowardice. Judging by this reaction, she will subsequently refuse to play the role of just a friend. The most likely move here is that Lale will deliberately provoke a conflict when meeting with Chenet to back Kadir into a corner and force him to confess. "I don't have to do anything." This phrase by Lale puts an end to their previous agreements. She is tired of being on the sidelines. After such a harsh refusal, we can expect that in the next episode, she will begin to sabotage all of Kadir's attempts to hide the truth. Her decision to act selfishly will trigger an open confrontation with Mariam. Kadir's showdown with the journalist Bahar dots all the I's. Bahar directly hints that without Lale's own green light, this material would never have been published. The realization of this fact hits Kadir hard. Now the logic of the storyline leads to him making harsh accusations of lying against Lale, and their union will crack significantly right at the beginning of the next episode. Lale's secret call to lawyer Pinar reveals her main trump card. The divorce application, signed by Mariam, is already in progress. This scene looks like preparation for a crushing blow. Most likely, in the next episode, these documents will suddenly appear on Kadir or Janet's desk, which will have a bombshell effect and completely turn Mariam's status in the house upside down. Atish and Nahir's meeting in the cafe seems like a reconciliation at first glance. But Atish acts too calm after her lies. He talks about forgiveness, but his gaze remains cold. This detail hints that he will start his own game next. The most likely move is that Atish will use Nahir's infatuation to get the information he needs about her family or brother. When Atish offers Nahir to be his girlfriend, she rejoices blindly, not noticing the catch. However, his sudden submissiveness looks suspicious. After this scene, it is logical to expect that Nahir's attempt to keep him with a new lie will only intensify the conflict. In the next episode, Atish will probably force her to face reality head-on, publicly exposing her in front of her own fiancé. Atish gives Nahir a harsh warning, demanding that there be no secrets between them, and threatens that he will no longer be so understanding. Nahir lies again that there are no secrets. Against the backdrop of such a conversation, we can expect that her silence about her engagement to Ismet will be revealed at the most inopportune moment, and this exposure will be the main trigger for the complete collapse of her plans. Kanet's appearance at Lale's house, cordoned off by the police, creates double tension. Kanet is not intimidated by the police. Her goal is to talk. Due to this unyielding attitude, it's likely in the next episode that she will find another, more aggressive way to penetrate Lale's territory or intercept her at the club, arranging an interrogation with witnesses. While the police are searching the house, Engin frantically asks Lale about the flash drive. This is a crucial moment. Hidden evidence surfaces. From Lale's reaction, it is clear she hasn't destroyed the compromising material on Mariam. This means the most likely next move is this. This flash drive will fall into the wrong hands, most likely competitors, creating a deadly threat not only to Mariam, but to the entire club. Engin yells at Lale, accusing her that finding the flash drive will destroy everyone. Lale swears to delete it, but her hesitation says otherwise. This scene looks like preparation for the next strike. Most likely, Lale will try to use this recording to blackmail Mariam, but her plan will be intercepted by someone more cunning, such as Hande. The prosecutor leaves with nothing, and Ökkeş gloats. However, Ökkeş's confidence looks too feigned. After such an exchange, we can expect that the police won't back down, but will put the club under surveillance. This means that in the next episode, any mistake by Kadir or Lale will be recorded, and the noose around the family will begin to tighten faster. Kadir finally snaps at Lale over the press publication, and Lale doesn't even fully deny her guilt. Judging by this reaction, Kadir will subsequently stop sharing his plans with her. The most likely move here is that he will start playing a double game, trying to protect Mariam in secret from Lale, which will only increase the latter's paranoia. Kadir, seeing Lale's tears, breaks down and promises to do whatever she wants, just to fix everything. This weakness at the end of the argument puts him in a vulnerable position. It is precisely because of this promise that in the next episode, Lale will likely demand that he publicly humiliate Mariam or give a cruel ultimatum to his mother, testing how far he is willing to go. Chenet astutely notices Mariam's calmness and bluntly asks why she isn't smashing everything around because of her husband's betrayal. Mariam's silence speaks louder than words. After this scene, it is logical to expect that Chinette will unravel the nature of their fictitious marriage. She will realize that Miriam is held not by love, but by duty or fear, and will start extracting the truth from her by force. Dissatisfaction is brewing in Ferhat's camp. Kadir's club is thriving while they suffer losses. His henchmen's complaints drive Ferhat crazy. This detail hints that Ferhat will move from words to deeds next. The most likely move is that he will organize not just a fight, but a dirty provocation inside Suraya Pera to destroy the establishment's reputation in front of investors. Ferhat realizes that the main trump card of Kadir's club is its reputation as a safe and family-friendly place. This conclusion becomes his plan of attack. Most likely, in the next episode, we will see a planned spectacle. Fake clients will cause a scandal involving harassment or a fight, so the press can capture the collapse of the club's reputation, which will hit Kadir personally. Ferhat inspecting his dressed-up thugs looks comical, but the goal is serious. He is preparing Trojan horses to infiltrate the club. Against the backdrop of such a scene, we can expect these people to deliberately provoke the security or the owners themselves into aggression. Kadir's attempt to restore order will only escalate the conflict and give Ferhat the blackmail material he needs. The meeting between Chinette and Lale at the mansion begins with Lale's fake smiles, trying to blame everything on the press. But Chinette is impenetrable. Because of this cold reception, Lale will likely realize in the next episode that this woman cannot be defeated peacefully. She will start turning Kadir against his mother, forcing him to make a hard choice, a blow below the belt. Chinette plainly calls Lale a mistress, pointing out her status in front of a married man. Lale's face turns to stone. After such humiliation, we can expect Lale to strike back no less cruelly. The most logical next step is that she will expedite Miriam's divorce process to legally destroy Chinette's arguments and prove her own power. Lale proudly declares that she will never be the second woman in anyone's story. This sounds like an ultimatum. Judging by this reaction, she will stop hiding next. Probably, in the new episode, Lale will openly appear at a family event or assert her rights to Kadir in front of everyone, to provoke Miriam into an open breakdown. Chinette forces Lale to apologize to Miriam, and Lale is forced to comply, grinding her teeth. This is a colossal blow to her ego. Precisely because of this humiliation, in the next episode, Lale will likely make Miriam's life a living hell at the club, using her power to take revenge for this moment of weakness in front of Chinette. After the guests leave, Chinette reflects by the window, realizing that Lale will not back down. She decides not to leave the ugly duckling, Miriam, alone in this war. This detail hints that Chinette will move into the mansion or the club permanently next. Her constant presence will ruin all of Lale's plans for secret meetings with Kadir. Lale's hysteria in Kadir's car reveals her true pain. Her mother died because of her father's mistress, and now she is being called the same thing. This nervous breakdown shows that the limit has been reached. After this scene, it's logical to expect that Lale will start acting irrationally. Kadir's attempt to calm her down will fail, and she might make a fatal mistake driven by emotions. Lale physically takes it out on Kadir's car, smashing the headlights out of powerlessness and humiliation. This outburst of rage proves that diplomacy is over. Most likely, in the next episode, her anger will fall on Miriam in the form of a setup at work, or an attempt to frame her as a thief to prove her baseness in front of all high society. Kadir hugs a crying Lale, promising to fix everything and begging her not to act behind his back anymore. But trust has already been broken. Because of this conversation, in the next episode, Kadir will likely try to expedite the divorce with Miriam to fulfill his promise to Lale, which will lead to unexpected resistance from Miriam herself. Ferhat gives final instructions to his men. Go to the club, enjoy the evening, and in the end, pull the plug. The preparation for the provocation is complete. Against the backdrop of such a scene, we can expect that their sabotage will hit Kadir's weakest spot, forcing him to use force in front of the cameras, which will be the beginning of his end in business. Chinette announces to the family that she is moving to Istanbul, right into Kadir's house. This is a brilliant tactical move to block Lale. After this decision, we can expect Kadir's house to turn into a battlefield in the next episode. The constant presence of relatives will completely destroy Kadir's personal life and force him to openly rebel against his mother's control. Nehir celebrates her move to Istanbul, believing that she has defeated her mother and is now free to meet with Ateş. This is typical arrogance before a fall. This detail hints that her lies will collapse in the most painful way next. The most likely move here is that her secret meeting with Ateş will be interrupted by İsmet's appearance, leading to a disaster. Meryem confesses to her sister that she signed the divorce papers under pressure, thinking Kadir knew. But now she knows the truth. Judging by this reaction, she won't be a silent victim anymore. Probably, in the new episode, she will publicly withdraw her signature or tell Kadir everything, which will instantly turn his anger against Lale. Kadir looks at the smashed headlights of his car, a symbol of his crumbling relationship. He admits to his friend that what hurts him the most is Meryem's silence, not Lale's tantrums. Precisely because of this confession, in the next episode, Kadir will likely try to provoke Meryem into showing emotions to understand her true feelings, which will lead to their first honest conversation. Çenet shares her suspicions with Hediye that Lale's interest in Kadir is too obvious and unhealthy. She understands that Meryem cannot cope with such a predator. After this conversation, it is logical to expect that Çenet will start a counter-game. The most logical next step is that she will start gathering dirt on Lale herself to throw her out of her son's life forever. Kadir tells Meryem about the upcoming signing of a partnership contract. This is the pinnacle of his career aspirations. But we know that Ferhat is preparing a strike. Because of this joy on the eve of victory, it's likely in the next episode that the signing of the contract will turn into a trap. Ferhat will use the club as a hostage to force Kadir to give up his share. Lale complains to Hande about her inexplicable jealousy towards Meryem, acknowledging the special bond between her and Kadir. This admission of weakness pushes her to act despicably. Against the backdrop of such a scene, we can expect that her promise to get rid of Meryem tonight will result in a dirty setup. Lale will try to frame her in front of clients or the police. Engin again demands an answer from Lale regarding the flash drive, and Lale evades the answer, promising to delete everything. But we see her nervousness. This scene looks like preparation for a major disaster. Most likely, the flash drive has already disappeared from her stash. When the truth comes out, Engin will accuse Lale of betrayal, and their alliance inside the club will collapse. Hande reads Kadir's partnership agreement with a sneer, hinting to Lale that she is giving away too much power. Hande is clearly jealous and is making her own plans. This detail hints that Hande will start playing against both of them next. The most likely move is that she will be the one to steal the flash drive from Lale's jewelry box to sell it to Ferhat in exchange for a share in the business. Meryem confesses to the singer Kamaran that her love will not have a happy ending, as her beloved loves another. This sincerity wins the star over. Judging by this reaction, Kamaran will stand up to protect Meryem next. In the next episode, when Lale tries to accuse Meryem of theft, it will be the intervention of the influential singer that breaks the setup plan. Ateş calls Nehir and invites her to a party, keeping quiet about the fact that his ex will be there. This is a test. Nehir agrees, risking everything. After such a conversation, we can expect that her attempt to sneak out of the house will turn into a failure. In the new episode, she will face betrayal from Ateş, who intends to deliberately humiliate her in front of his wealthy friends. Hande discovers that Lale's jewelry box is locked with a key. Her obsession with its contents is obvious. Because of this curiosity, in the next episode, it's likely that Hande will find a way to open the stash. Finding the video recording of Meryem will give her absolute power, and she will not miss the chance to use this weapon to throw Kadir out of the club and Lale out of the business. And here it is. Hande finds the key and takes something from the jewelry box, with the words, "Well done, Mom. Goodbye, Lale." This is a turning point. Most likely she will hand this flash drive over to Ferhat next. Her attempt to fix everything in her favor will only escalate the global conflict, turning an internal intrigue into a criminal offense with blackmail. Ferhat gives a command to his men over the phone. create such chaos that the club loses its face forever. The plan is set in motion. Against the backdrop of such a scene, we can expect the provocation to begin right in the middle of Kamran's performance. Kadir's attempts to quietly neutralize the threat will fail, as the thugs will start insulting Meryem specifically, knowing his weak spot. Nahir's plan to run away to Atesh falls apart due to the sudden appearance of Ismet with baklava. Ismet is genuinely happy, while Nahir is furious. This detail hints that the tension between them will become unbearable next. The most likely move here is that Nahir will harshly reject Ismet right on the doorstep, which will make him finally doubt her loyalty and start spying on her. Meryem notices Ferhat's suspicious men and warns Kadir about their strange behavior. Her observation is ahead of the security. Judging by this reaction, Kadir will instruct his men to monitor the table, but it will be too late. Most likely, in the new episode, the incident won't start with a fight, but with aggressive harassment of Meryem herself in front of the whole hall. Right before going on stage, Kamran discovers her necklace is missing. Panic backstage is growing. This scene looks like the culmination of the setup. Because of this loss, in the next episode, Lale will immediately point to Meryem as the only suspect. This scandal will force Kadir to publicly defend his wife, which will completely destroy his image in front of his partners. Lale cold-bloodedly tells Kadir that no one but Meryem went backstage, openly accusing her of theft. Her plan for revenge has been executed. After this direct accusation, we can expect that Kadir will refuse to believe Lale. His decision to side with Meryem and demand everyone be searched will trigger an irreversible rift between him and Lale. Lale insists on searching Meryem's bag in front of Kamran. Meryem agrees, knowing her innocence. Against the backdrop of such a scene, we can expect that when the bag turns out to be empty, Lale's plan will fail miserably. Most likely, Kamran will realize that it was a dirty game, and her sympathy for Meryem will only grow, while Lale's authority will collapse. Suddenly, Lale brings the missing jewelry box, claiming she found it on the stairs where everything had been searched before. Her lie is too obvious. Because of this clumsy attempt to save the situation, in the next episode, it's likely that Kadir will finally realize the whole theft story was planned by Lale. This exposure will force him to cut all personal ties with her. Nahir asks her sister to cover for her and sneaks out of the house to Atesh anyway. She puts everything on the line. This detail hints that a crushing disappointment awaits her next. The most likely move is that Atesh already knows the truth about her engagement and invited her only to teach her a harsh lesson and kick her out in front of his friends. Lale, whose setup failed, cynically declares that Meryem will watch the concert from the front row, trying to save face. But Kadir decides to join Meryem. Judging by this reaction, Lale will realize her complete failure next. In the new episode, she will most likely try to take revenge through business channels, blocking Kadir's access to accounts or contracts. Ferhat's thugs move to active action, roughly grabbing Meryem by the arm. This is the very spark in the powder keg. After such a provocation, we can expect Kadir to lose his remaining control. His fury will be directed not at protecting the club's reputation, but at protecting his wife's honor, which will be captured by phone cameras prepared by Ferhat's men. Kadir throws himself into a fight, beating up clients in front of the whole hall. The provocation succeeded 100%. This scene looks like preparation for a major disaster for the business. Most likely, in the next episode, this video will reach the investors and Lale's family. They will try to remove Kadir from management, accusing him of inadequacy and destroying Surya Pera's reputation. Atesh kicks Nahir out after learning on the phone about her engagement to Ismet. Her house of cards of lies has collapsed. Because of this humiliating expulsion, in the next episode, it's likely that Nahir will fall into hysterics and blame everything on her mother and sister. Her despair might push her to run away from home or attempt self-harm to attract attention. Hande shows Ferhat a video where Meryem is shooting and offers to use it as leverage. This is a turning point in the whole story. Now Ferhat holds Kadir's fate in his hands. The most likely move here is that Ferhat will come straight to the club with this trump card, demanding not just apologies, but the complete transfer of all shares and Kadir's public humiliation. Ferhat shows Kadir the video of Maryam shooting. Kadir's confidence evaporates in a second. After this demonstration, the balance of power changes dramatically. This detail hints that in the next episode, Kadir will be forced to play by the enemy's rules, desperately trying to find a way to break this blackmail from the inside, without letting Lale know about the existence of this recording. Ferhat's final ultimatum: either the club's shares or prison for Maryam. The finale clearly leaves this incredibly difficult choice for the continuation. The most likely picture of the next episode will be built precisely around this conflict. Most likely, Kadir will pretend to give up his positions, but in parallel will begin a hidden hunt for the original video and the one who leaked it.
Hindi na ako iyo, nakalimutan mo na ba ang mga pangako sa ilalim ng puno ng nara? Dati-rati